Hello everybody, a very warm welcome back to the Mec-Tec garage. Now your eyes do not deceive you, I have a white citybug on the drive. Now this is my old mate Dan's, his Peugeot 107. He has caught the bug and he has got one now too after seeing my one. Needed a cheap car and he's got himself this little 107. Now this is a Sportium edition, which is the sort of one of the special editions they did. It's got aircon, electric windows, central locking, all the things I haven't got on mine. And it's also got a rather large dent in the front wing. So I'm going to send you back to past me. You will see that I have got a wing which is actually the same colour red as my car, which we got for this, which I have repaired and painted. So we're going to go back, do that in the video, and then we're going to come back to the present day and then get it fitted on the car and hopefully make it look absolutely marvellous. Let's crack on and get some work done. I've cleared the space, so we have got at least this small area to work in. Now today's video is going to be starting on, well, it's hopefully going to be starting and sorting out this wing for my old mate Dan's 107. We need to get this rubbed down. There is a small dent in it which I've got to repair, and then we need to get it into primer and then paint it white. That is the plan. And then hopefully we can get it fitted on the car in this video as well with any luck. We'll see how we get on with that. I don't know how timings is going to work with obviously getting him down here to put it on and all that sort of thing, but we need to get it obviously painted first. So without further ado, let's get this buzzed down with the old DA. I'm going to go too mad with it, just want to take the surface back. I'm going to use white primer on it so that the white paint has got a nice base to sit on, and hopefully that will get rid of any trace of red that's underneath it then as well. Obviously I'm going to buzz this back. I don't want to go too far because obviously I want to keep that as a good base to go on to. So we'll rub it back first, then we'll sort the dent out, then we'll get it in primer, and obviously then paint, and then hopefully we can make his little 107 look absolutely marvellous. So without further ado, let's crack on, get some work done. Right, I think I'm actually going to change tack slightly and do the dent first. You can just about see it, it's there. If you catch the light right, it's only very minor. It's got like a little sort of bump there. So that is the bit I'm going to work on first, mainly because I can see where it is when it's shiny. So I'm going to work on that. I've actually got my granddad's old plastic hammer and I've resurfaced it all on the old bench grinder, and then used a file on it to round off all the edges so it's nice and smooth. Obviously I have got panel hammers as well, but I thought because I'm hitting the front of it I wanted something that was more rounded. So I'm going to try this with a dolly behind it and see if we can just knock it just back slightly, and then put a little fine skim of filler over that, and hopefully that will make it disappear with any luck. So I'm going to work on that, and once we've got that repaired, then obviously then we can get it all rubbed down with the DA sander. Let's carry on. Okie doke, after a bit of hammering and a little skim of filler, that is obviously drying at the moment. I think what I'm going to do is rub the rest of the wing down so that I can sort of double up on jobs and not have to wait for the filler to dry. So obviously I'll go around the filler, it's still setting at the moment. So let's get the rest of this wing sanded down. I don't think there's any more dents on it I need to worry about. I've got a little tiny bit of rust there, which is where the paint's just flaked off the edge, which obviously I'll sort out, and then we should be good to obviously get this filler sanded once I've faffed around doing all that. So let's get this sanded and go from there. Right, almost nailed that on the first skim. I wasn't happy with the edge of this up here. It was a little dip, and then same with this end, so I've put another little skim on there, not a lot. There's very minimal filler on that once it's sanded down, and that should see it good, hopefully. So I'll let that go off again. We'll get that sanded down. As you can see, the rest of the wing's all sanded. I've got to do these little recess bits by hand because obviously I can't get the DA sander in there. I've got to do a little bit there, a little bit around this recess of the indicator. And I want to scuff up the back of this. There's not a lot of paint on that anyway, but I want to scuff up the back of that with a scotch pad or whatever. Same with that front edge over there. Get it all prepped nice, and then we can get some of that white primer on it, and hopefully it'll look alright with any luck. So let's carry on once this filler's dry, and we'll get that rubbed down and carry on from there. Top banana. Righty ho, the wing is now all prepped. I put a little skim of filler each end of that, as you saw, and I just went over the very slight little bit there and there with a bit of dolphin glaze. It is very minimal. You can kind of see through it as well. You can see how thin it is. You can see metal coming through there and here and along here, so it is pretty thin. It wasn't that bad a dent really. Hopefully it'll blend in all right. Done the best I can, but it's a bit of a weird shape because it curves that way as well as that way. It's one of those funny shapes, a bit like the Puma. So we'll see what it comes out like. I'm going to get some primer on it next. First thing before I do that though is there's a little bit of surface rust on that bottom edge there, down the bottom of the wing, which I want to clean up. It's only surface rust. I'm just going to use a belt sander, clean that up, put a bit of the old neutral rust on it, and then obviously we can paint and prime that at the same time then as everything else. So that should keep that hopefully from getting any worse. It is very minor. It's just where the e-coat or whatever they put on it from factory is just starting to peel around this hole, that's all, and it's just sort of spread up there. So let's get that sorted out, cleaned up, and then we can get the primer going. Rightio, what I've done is, as you can see there, put neutral rust on that corner, and I've also gone over it with some grey primer, and I've actually gone around the edge of the inner wing with grey primer as well to get rid of any red that was on the edges that had been oversprayed from factory, just so that it doesn't look quite so obvious that it was originally a red wing. So if you looked under the wheel arch, you'd just see a bit of grey, and obviously once we put the white primer on the other side of the wing, we'll get some white overspray on it as well, so it'll make it look even more genuine as such. So that's the hope. So yeah, I've just done that just to obviously aid things a little bit and make it look not quite so obvious that it's had another wing on it, you know. So right, let's get this hung on. I'm going to use my ramps. I'm going to hang it on the ramps, and then I want to get some white primer on the go. Let's carry on. Rightio, I wasn't happy with this. I still had a little tiny bit of a step in it there which shouldn't be there, so I've actually taken it back to metal again, and I'm going to re-stopper it with this stuff, and I'm going to bring the stopper up here so I can blend it out better. That is the plan. So I'm going to just refill that edge there up to this curve, and hopefully that will give us the desired effect, what I'm looking for, because if I can still see it, then other people will still see it, and especially if it's not for my car, I wasn't very happy with it. So here we go again. Let's get this some more filler on. Right, after much, well not much, but quite a bit of filling, rubbing down, I've finally got this to the stage where I'm happy with it, and it blends in nicely all the way down here. You could feel a very slight undulation there before, which has now disappeared pretty much, so I think that is going to be okay. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I might have to do a tiny little bit there, just a little bit of sanding on that top bit, but other than that I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to get that little bit sanded, and then I'm going to re-prime it, give it a few coats, and then see what it looks like, and hopefully we'll be there with it, and we can get some actual colour on the go. Let's crack on. Rightio, there it is. That is the wing re-primed again. I've done as much as I possibly can on this to get it as straight as I can. It's really quite a difficult shape because this bit curves, how can I describe it? It curves that way and that way, and then there's a flat bit here as well on the arch. So I've done the best I can with it. It ain't gonna get no better than that as far as what I can do, so I'm hoping that it's going to be all right. So I'm going to get some base coat. I've got some base coat. I want to get it shaken up, and we'll get some proper white colour on here. Lovely jubbly. Righty ho, we are back to present day. Obviously you've seen the wing now repainted. This is the one that's on the car, and this is how he built it. As you can see, it is absolutely mangled. So yeah, it definitely needs sorting out. We're going to try and possibly do something with the edge of this door, because where the door has been opened onto the wing, it's bent it out slightly, so possibly going to try and do something with that, see whether we can improve it slightly. But as you can see, the lovely British weather strikes again. So we have cleared a space in the garage, and we're going to try and pull the front in here. The wing is up there on top of those boxes, out the way. So let's get the car in and get to work. Right, here's Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hello. James May, hello.
James May, hello. Yeah. Let's. We're just opening the bonnet up. Where's the catch? Can't find it. There it is. Not 100% sure how this comes off, but we'll obviously find out in due course. Now obviously got to take the headlight out, which I think is just 2 bolts, and then obviously the wing then bolts on from there, but we need to obviously see what we need to do. So we're going to have a little look and see what needs to come off, maybe look at the new wing as well and see where the fixings are, and obviously we'll update you when we know a bit more. Right, I'd forgotten how this all came apart, because obviously I did it on mine when I painted the bumpers. You do have to take the bumper at least partially off to get the headlight out, because there's a bolt, if I remember rightly, under here somewhere. Oh, yeah, it's that one there, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately Dan's bumper guide is a bit worse for wear, where that wing's obviously had a massive clump, so we do need to get a new one of those, which you can obviously replace after, but for now obviously we're just going to take the bits of it falling off everywhere.
Crumbling apart, isn't it?
It's lucky that head didn't break that headlight actually, because that tab on that headlight is on like a little wing here, look. It's still intact. Oh, yeah. That should just lift out now then, that headlight.
We'll try it.
Yeah. So now we've got the head. Let me just go over this. 1 bolt and a clip on this side of the bumper, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts in the top of the headlight, and that one you just saw us take out, and then there's a clip in the wheel arch and a bolt underneath the front of the car, and that's released the side of the bumper. We're not taking it right off because we don't need to. And obviously then just unplug your bulbs and you're away. So that's how the headlight at least comes out. And now next thing we've got to do is find where all the bolts are for the wing. Dan hasn't actually seen my painted wing I've done for him yet, which is slightly worrying. Let's hope it looks alright, and let's hope the colour matches, because obviously we had the colour matched from the code, but there's no guarantee that it's going to match the car 100%, but hopefully it'll be a lot better than what's on there now, so that's the main thing. Right, there we go, headlight out, job done, and it looks like we've got a bolt on there for the wing.
I think there's a broken clip on there.
Is there a broken?
That's broken, isn't it? Not sure what part that would have been attached to though.
No, it wasn't affected in the headlight, was it? Because the bolt still went through it. Or was that the bit that fell off when you unbolted it?
Maybe then.
We might be able to hot staple that back on.
Was it that bit? No.
No. That bit. It's got a hole in it. Yeah, it goes in. Oh yeah, that side, isn't it? I don't know. We're going to work this puzzle out of what's broken off the headlight, and we might have to get the hot staple kit out and repair that, which we can do. Good job we're in the garage. It's absolutely chocolate down there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. There you go, absolutely falling down. Right, we're going to have another little look at this, see what we need to take off next to get the wing off, and we'll come back to you when we know. Right, Dan's just, we've got the wheel off as you can see, and he's just undoing the mud flap, because this has got front mud flaps on this. So that's just held on with a couple of Phillips screws. Got to take the arch liner out, just so that obviously, actually it's not a very big arch liner, is it? It only goes to the front section, look. It should be pretty easy, but it clips in all around the wing. As you can see up here, it all clips around it, so obviously it needs to be unclipped so we can clip it into the new one. So we're going to take the arch liner out. It's just clipped, just held on with clips as far as we know, and then we can work out obviously where the wing bolts need to be taken out from. So we'll get this done and then show you in a minute when we've made a bit more progress. Dan's just trying to get this arch liner off, and he's found a screwdriver behind it from the bloke before. In this car you get a free screwdriver with every job. We are finding this a little bit difficult because this had mud flaps on it, which has got these massive long screws in here. The clips are really strong, obviously, where they screw through, so we're just trying to, or rather Dan's just trying to sort of squeeze them together a little bit, so hopefully we can winkle them out of the wing, because at the moment they do not want to go. It's a good job we don't want this wing anymore, because it's annihilating it trying to get them off, but we'll persevere, and as soon as they come out we can hopefully get this wing off. Right, 4 bolts out the wing, in fact no 5, because you did one at the very bottom. So there's one at the very bottom underneath there, there's one here, one there, one underneath the wheel arch, and that's it, isn't it?
Is there one in here?
Oh, and one in there, yeah, behind that trim piece of trim on there. So we're hoping now this might just lift off. We're just going to see. I'm going to put the bonnet down. We'll lower it slightly.
It's going to catch on that then, isn't it?
Just lower it slightly, that will be alright, won't it? You better still get it out from underneath it.
Something along the top here that's holding it.
Might have a bit of that like bitumen style tape or
I
something.
think there's another bolt. I think it might be underneath this plastic.
Oh really? Oh god. And the bolt, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think there's one just under there.
Okay, looks like we're going to take the scuttle panel off then, which is held on with a bolt there.
Have you had this off before on yours?
Yes, but I can't remember how it goes. So I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to get the scuttle off anyway, and obviously you have to take the wiper off to get the scuttle off or anything. That's not the actual one holding the wing, is it? No.
No, not that lucky.
No. Yeah, because what there is like a plastic part of this scuttle, and then there's a metal part underneath, if I remember rightly. So you have to take all these clips out.
Yeah.
And the wiper arm off, which is a pain.
We need a puller to get the arm off, do we?
Didn't on my one, it just sort of came free. There you go. So, right, we're going to have a look at this, get this scuttle off by the looks of it, and once we've got that out of the way, we'll show you where the other wing bolt is. Right, scuttle panel is off. It was 1 bolt either end and 2 clips and a funny clip in the middle, which then leaves this metal tray underneath. Now if you want to change or clean your PCV valve and stuff like that, then you have to take this out, and it's easier to take it out, I think, with the wiper motor attached, if I remember rightly. It all just comes out in one lump. But it's allowed us to get to this bolt up here, which is the one we needed for the wing. So this wing now should just lift off, hopefully. Cut in on the camera before we did anything so you could see it happen. Is it like a rubber trim on there, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's it. One manky damaged wing. Let's turn it around, Dan. State of that, look. Actually looks better off the car than it does on the car. How does that work? That is well muddled.
Pretty bad though.
Yeah, it's well manky, isn't it? So yeah, that's that off. So I think we're going to probably give us a little bit of a clean up under here now, because I know what Dan's like.
Yeah, I might have it clean.
We'll give it a little bit of a clean up around the areas that obviously you can't get to. No, it's alright actually, yeah. A few cobwebs here and there, but and get this new one bolted back on. Well, actually no, we're going to look at the door edge first, I think, aren't we?
So we can straighten that a little bit.
Yeah.
While it's apart.
Yeah, okay. Right, we'll come back to it in a minute. Right, with the wing off, now I've actually already had a go at this. I should have filmed it. this edge of this door was all kicked out that way. I don't know if you saw that in the video earlier. I just tapped it with a dead blow hammer and it's so soft, it tapped back in and it's popped a lot of this dent back out. So it's left a very, very slight little bit there, which I'm just going to see whether I can improve with my hot glue gun and dent pulling tool. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll find out and have a little go. So you would have seen me use this on the cab video. If you saw the cab video week before last, you squeeze all the glue onto this. Hot glue, it's meant for this application, and then get it on there fairly quickly so that it can obviously go off. Let it dry for a minute or two, and then obviously you can, then this attaches to that and then you can pull the dent out. That's the theory. There's not too much of a dent down the bottom there. It has got a bit of shape to the door there anyway, where it sort of curves a little bit. There's a little tiny one just there, but we'll try the top bit first. It has improved a lot just by tapping that in. There's a massive gap behind this moulding, which is now reduced to nowhere near as much. So we'll let that harden off for a second. Do it too soon, it'll just pull it straight off. So Dan has given this a wipe over, so obviously get it clean so we can get the best chance of it sticking. Just don't want to go too mad with this because I don't want to pull it out too far. Well, that moved. See that?
It did, yeah.
That has actually come out. Not perfect, but it's. Doors on these are so soft.
That's come out good, isn't it?
That popped, didn't it? It popped.
I thought I felt something. There's a little tiny bit there.
Yeah.
Not a lot, is it?
Don't want to go too much because otherwise it will make it out with an outward dent, you know. What's it look like down the moulding there? Is there any change? Anything? That hasn't really changed, has it?
The moulding bit's still the same, isn't it? But I think that bit there came out a bit.
Yeah, I heard it pop. This has been done where the wings obviously got damaged. It's been pushed back, and then whoever done it previously has got out in a panic, opened the door onto the wing and bent the door out. That's all that's happened. It's not actually
Shame, because the door would have been fine, wouldn't it? If it had done
yeah,
that?
that's right. The door would have been perfect. Yeah, but obviously instant reaction. You jump out of the car after you've clumped it one and done this. So should I go a bit more?
You're the expert.
Oh. I'm inclined to say don't go any further because I don't want to make it go out and then it'll look even worse. Maybe we should try taking this one off and reattaching one, maybe either closer to the moulding, or problem is because the moulding's there you can't get a full. Is there a scraper thing in that box behind you, the yellow thing, to get this off with?
That.
That's it.
Is it like a release agent you need for it?
Actually a bit of brake cleaning in that tin usually does it. Yeah, they didn't give you any release agent with this kit for whatever reason, but I did find this got the residue off before, so it might help with. Oh, there it goes. That works. And the pad's over there somewhere now. Dan, gosh, don't worry, I'll find it in a bit then.
Disappeared into your garage.
Yeah, never to be found again then. Yeah, brake clean seems to get the hot glue off really well. Got it? Yeah. To get all the old glue back off of it again, but definitely improved. It's not gone by any stroke of imagination. Wish my cab door looked all like that.
Not better than it was though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's worth trying again. Just up there. If I get a smaller pad on it, it will go right into that groove. What pads you got in that packet over there? So look. Should have showed this when I hammered the edge of the door, because that made the biggest difference, and we didn't think it was going to do much, but it actually really worked really well. Because if I'd have had that luck with the cab door, I said to Dan, if I'd have had that luck with the cab door, I would have got it out. But the problem is, if it had been that soft in the first place, the bus would have annihilated the door. So kind of a catch-22 really. Just looking, is there no thinner one? Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. Trying to get the old glue off so it sticks better.
Show your skills on this.
And then we're going to prayer, mate. Right, put that one on there, and maybe we'll put another one below it. So we'll use that same one again. Probably it's a bit big for that dent, isn't it? I'm going to try and get into the middle of the dent really, so that it...
Definitely.
It might work, mightn't it? Go that one in there. Right, close to the moulding. Right, we'll let those dry for a second, but that top one should be still a bit tacky. I don't think you're going to get it out completely, but just as long as it's improved a bit, as you said.
It's improved quite a bit already, hasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a shame I didn't show it. Can't believe how soft it is.
Yeah, it's really moving, isn't it?
That moved.
Oh, that did, yeah.
Maybe I should go a bit more severe with it then. I was going gentle with it because I didn't want to make it worse. It's definitely nowhere near as much there now.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it? It's like, it's more shallow. Try it again. Oop. Or not.
That's definitely improved.
A little bit of amazing how that releases it like that, isn't it? Yeah, I mean it's still a dent there, but it's not as
It's
not
never,
as
it's
deep.
never going to go, is it? Unless you know.
Unless you bodywork it all, yeah. I think that might be all you're going to get out of it, to be honest with you, without making it look terrible. Because if you
Go too far with it, yeah.
What was that? That bird. Like a crow or something crowing away. So basically we're going to carry on like this, probably have another little go at it and get it as best we can, and then obviously we'll get the wing on and hopefully it'll look absolutely marvellous. Right, we're in the progress of the new wing going on. Now we've obviously done that bit on that door and I've touched in the edge where it had rubbed on the old wing, so that hopefully won't rust anymore now. And we've got this bolt and that bolt tight, and we've checked the gaps on this to the other side of the car and also to my C1, and they all look really good, so it's going really rather well. So we're going to get the rest of these bolts in, got a couple more there, and then we'll be on the reassembly side. Top banana. Just wanted to show you the other bolt that you couldn't see. You see the bracket going up there, but Dan's tightening up at the moment. That is the inner wing bracket that obviously holds the wing to the inner wing, if that makes sense. Not going too mad on these, we've just got a little quarter drive ratchet just nipping them up so they're nice and tight. That's the only one that's under the wheel arch, so and obviously then you've got to put your arch line and all the other stuff back in again after, which we showed you before. So we've got one to do here, which has got to go through the plastic bracket. Got to nip that one up there.
Shut the bonnet for that one to set that alignment, that position.
Yes, we can do, yeah. And I think that's it, isn't it? It's only those two. Yeah, that one.
One in there. Oops.
Sorry. Oh, one down there, yeah. And what's this one up here then?
That is a clip, isn't it? I can't remember what was in there now.
Maybe there's two. That was maybe one of them.
Oh, was that the clip for the bracket that holds the front bumper on, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to look at that because that clip is very broken and we do need to. Dan does need to get a new one, but for now we're going to put the old one back on, and so we can obviously carry on driving it, and then
I'll order one up. Yeah.
So we'll work this out, get this all gaps right, and then should be going back together. Lovely jubbly. Rightio, we need to do a little repair on this headlight. I'm just going to clamp you in a vice so you don't fall over. Stay there. Wait a minute. Right, there we go. It's a bit tricky in here at the moment because obviously nothing's where it should be, and yeah. So this is our headlight, obviously. There's the bit that's broken off. This is a little tab. It's got to go back on there again. It goes on there, something like, how did I do it before? Can't remember now. Something like that. Yeah, there we go, like that. So what I'm going to do is use my hot stapler, and we'll staple it back together. This is the hot stapler, and obviously you've got these little staples that go in it, which basically melt into the plastic and melt it back together again. Got like these wiggly staples. Hopefully you can see them in the camera. Basically, yeah, let's get you turned around and zoomed in a bit, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So basically you get the staple in the end of the gun. And some plastics work really well with this, others don't, so we'll see how we get on with this. Hoping this is going to be one of the ones that works really right. Now, I have to try and move a bit closer here because my lead won't reach, and I'm balanced on everything at the moment. So, right. What we'll do, we'll put a couple of these in, get it so that it's in one piece again, and then we'll go over the join with the soldering iron. And then obviously that will smooth the plastic over the staples to hold them. It looks like, by the looks of it, this plastic's quite a good plastic to melt, so that's quite good. Very, very good these are for certain applications. And you want to let it cool down a bit before you try and pull the staple gun off the staple, because otherwise you'll end up just pulling it straight back out of the plastic again, and then you'll be back to square one. So it's funny, this tool I've got, it's one of them things that I thought I won't use that often, but amazing how much you do use it. I'm going to use a different staple for this one because those wiggly ones are too wide to fit, and I've got some ones here that are slightly less wiggly, that are a bit straighter, that will fit in that gap. I'll put a couple of those in there so that it gives it a bit of strength. There we go, like that. So that's now on there nice and strong. What I'll do now is I'll get the solder, we'll cut these little tags off. We'll get the soldering iron. I might put one more in there, just across there. One of these straighter ones. I'll get the soldering iron. We'll melt it all together so that it'll hopefully stay all right, and then we should be good to reuse this headlight, hopefully. There we go. Right, let's get the soldering iron going and melt this all together. Right, there is our headlight, all repaired. I've buzzed it back with a belt sander to get all the sharp edges off. Should be nice and strong for many more miles to come, so we can get that bolted back on now. Dan is just putting on the inner trim that goes underneath the arch there. It's like a don't even know what it does to me. It's just probably sound deadening. It goes up underneath there. It's just putting it in there. So we're going to get that put back on, and then we should be able to get the mud flap and the arch liner back in, and then we're somewhere near it. Lovely jubbly. Right, we are really getting somewhere now. Dan's just finishing off the arch liner and the mud flap. The bumper's all back on. The clip on the bumper to wheel arch isn't great, as we know, because it's broken, but he's going to sort out a new one of those at some point. Do that easily. I'm just going to run some 2000 grit paper over the headlights. I'm going to polish them up nice so they look really good, and then we'll carry on from there. I guess there are some other jobs we want to do as well, so once we get this part of it done, we'll move on to the next step. Right, there we go. That is the wing repair complete for now. Now the wing gap is slightly bigger on this end of the bumper because of that bracket being broken, but that can obviously be sorted out when Dan's back at home, so that's no problem. Polish the headlights up, they've come up really quite well, and we've just swapped over a wheel centre out of that wheel because the Peugeot badge was missing, as you can see. I've actually got a set of these that came with more wheels that I bought from RC1, which are obviously not Peugeot, so got these spare, and lucky enough they're the right ones for Dan's wheels. So he's actually only, I think you only had one badge, didn't you?
Yeah, that back one.
That back one on that side was the only one he had, so we're going to put the two in the other wheels as well, and I hope that should make that look really good with any luck. So what's the next job, Dan?
I just want to think.
I think we've got to do an adjustment on that door there,
yeah,
because that's kicked out at the top, and we've got to do the variable cam timing valve. We want to clean that, don't we?
Yeah, while we're in there.
While we're in there,
while we left this off,
while we left that top half of the scuttle off, because we might have to take the bottom half off to obviously aid access of going in there. What else was there? We did have a list, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've got all the arch line and everything back in under there, just show you. It's all nice and clean, and well, it doesn't look very clean now, but we have cleaned it all.
Cleaner than it was.
Cleaner than it was. Mud flap's back on. Wing fits really well. Really chuffed with that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright.
Opened the door for the first time.
Yeah, he couldn't open the door all the way because it caught on the wing before, so that's really good. So lovely jubbly. Right, when we've decided what we do next, we'll let you know. Right, whilst the sun's out, we've got the 107 out on the drive very quickly, and we've given it a quick blast over with the old jet wash, and I've gone over it with a clay mitt, and I didn't film it because obviously you've seen me do that about a billion times, but as you can see, the wing itself is actually a really good match to the rest of the paint on the car, which was very surprising. We thought it might be a bit off, but we've had all the wheels off, cleaned them all in the backs as well. Hopefully you can see that. Hang on, yeah, you can see in there that they're clean all the way through. Got all new wheel centres on there, which I had luckily. I've got to do a little bit of polishing here to get this graze off, which we're going to do in a minute. But the next job we're going to do now is actually on this door. Let me just show them, Dan. Where's them? Oh, yeah, on the hinges.
The water's coming down there. From washing it, I reckon.
What was what?
Water's on the mat, like, probably from washing it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's probably where I blast up. I've jet washed under the engine bay, and we've got a bit of water in the footwell. I'll show you in a minute. But you can see in there, this door has had a wallop in the past, and you can see it's bent the actual pillar, and all they've done to fix that is put washers in there. The problem with that is when the door's shut, that gap there from the inside, you can actually see air through it, and it makes a whistling noise at speed. So they've actually spaced it out too much. So what we're going to do is going to try and take one washer off the top hinge if we can. We're not going to be able to fix it properly because it is bent and the pillar's bent and it's quite a strong part of the car and we've not got any way of pulling it, but we're going to see if we can just improve this frame a little bit so that it sits in there a little bit nicer. Got tape on the edge of the door because Dan kept it in the wall with it. So yeah, we're going to try and unbolt. You can just show us, Dan, just open that door. We're going to try and unbolt it. We're unbolting the door from the hinge itself, so we're going to leave the hinges on there, unbolt the door out of the way, and then that'll allow access to those bolts on the hinges then, so we haven't got to take the wing off, because otherwise you've got to take the wing and the arch liner off and everything else. So that is the plan. So when we get a little bit of progress on that, we'll come back to you and show you. But at the moment it looks like it's 2 plugs for the wiring, which is not a lot, which is in that footwell there, and then is it 4 bolts on the door?
Yeah, 4.
4 10.
Oh, and the check strap.
Oh, and the check strap, yeah. So it should be fairly simple to take off. So we'll do that and we'll come back to you. Right, we've now got the machine polisher out and I've polished up the wing again and I've polished the door. Well, in fact, I've polished this whole side so far and it is looking really, really good. So I'm real chuffed with that. We've got all the scuff marks off the rear quarter panel where someone had just brushed it. They have come off absolutely perfect. So that is really, really good too. Now the door that we was working on around here, Dan literally looked at the door, and on this hinge in here you've actually got some adjustment forward and back on the bolt that we undone. So all we did was move it in very slightly on that bolt and now it's closed up this gap absolutely perfect, and that should not get any more wind noise through there at all. It's nice and sealed. So we didn't actually end up having to take the door off at all, which is really, really good. So in the meantime, Dan's been working on getting a wire through from inside the footwell here, from his tow bar. He's got all these tow bar electrics in the boot, and he had a wire that he had to feed a 12 volts to, which had to go through the bulkhead, and we just managed to get a hole through. There's a rubber bung in there, which let me just show him, Dan. Hopefully you can see inside there. There's a rubber bung around the 2 heater pipes, and we managed to drill a hole. Dan managed to drill a hole from the inside, and he's now threading the wire through nice and neat. He's going to cable tie it all the way up to the battery, and that is his 12 volt feed for the tow bar. So that is going really well too. As you can see, the engine bay is all nice and clean now. I'll give that a jet wash too while we was at it. We've still left the scuttle off at the moment because we want to look at the variable cam timing valve, make sure that's not gunked up with anything. So while Dan's doing that wiring, I'm going to carry on polishing, and hopefully it should look absolutely mega once it's done. I mean, it's looking absolutely mega now. I've polished the mirror cap. There were some marks on this mirror cap too, they've all come off, and there were some scuffs on the door seal, they've all come off as well. So, and also underneath this door handle where someone used to get in and out with long fingernails, there was all scuffs, they've all come off too. So that is going really rather well. We've got a little bit, we've got a touching on the bumper here, which I'm going to polish first of all, get any small marks off, and then I'll go over the black bits with a touching of white, just so that it takes your eye off of it. I'm going to polish the rest of the car as well while we're here, and it should look mega. So let's carry on and we'll come back to it in a minute. Right, the polishing has continued in between rain showers, and Dan has been working on the rear brake light. Now, as you can see, all 4 bulbs are illuminated. Now, they weren't working at all when we started, or he started I should say, and there was actually no bulbs in this holder at all when we took the light out. The light's held in with just 2 screws, and it's got the washer pipe on it as well, which you have to take off. And basically all he's done is give all the connections in there a real nice clean up. We've got all these little brass connections and whatever in there, and also, can you explain it, Dan?
Yeah, let me get a spare bulb, I'll show you.
Got a spare bulb?
Okay. Can you see that on the camera, right?
Hang on, let's get my hand in front of it so it focuses.
So on these bulbs you've got the wire that comes out,
yeah,
on opposite sides, but those sides were the wrong side for the terminals in the holder.
Oh right.
So on each one I had to flip that over to that
side. I see, yeah, yeah.
And then obviously the same
the other way as well.
With that one.
Yeah.
Flip that around that side. So they're then lined up with the connections in the
that makes sense, yeah.
And
it works.
Yeah.
Superb.
Clean them all up as well, obviously, with a bit of this sandpaper.
Oh, a little bit of 240, yeah.
And that on the contacts.
There's the lens. Obviously, the lens is in good condition. A lot better than my one. We actually I've got a tinted one for mine, which we tested it with, and we could tell from that the wiring was all working. So, and he's cleaned all that out and made it all look really rather nice. So that's good. Looks like you might want a new gasket on that though.
Yeah.
Because that will leak.
Again, it's a job for another day.
Yeah, it's got a Toyota logo on it. Oh, because it's Igo, isn't it, as well? Yeah. I was thinking, what's Toyota going to do with it? Yeah. So that can go back on there now, and that's another job ticked off the list. He's been doing that while I've been polishing. I'm nearly finished polishing now. I've got this side to do with normal polish and the back, and then I'm going to wax it, and then, well, actually no, before I wax it, I'm going to do a few touch-ins around it, and then we'll wax it, and then it should be looking really, really good. And then we're going to move on, as I've said about a billion times in this video, to that variable cam timing solenoid. So we are progressing well. Let's carry on. Right, we are back in the garage again because it keeps blooming raining. So we're now looking at this VVT solenoid. Now, what have you taken off, Dan? Just show us.
That breather pipe, which connects onto there.
Right, okay.
So I'll just push that out of the way for a minute.
Yeah.
And then the connector off the back of it.
That's the actual solenoid itself that it comes off the back of, is it?
And then
so that plug is the solenoid.
That's it. And then there's a 10mm bolt right down there where my finger is. If you can, probably can't see.
I can see where your finger is, but yeah, that's okay. I can kind of show that. So the bolt's out, 10mm bolt. Okay, so and then you just got to pull it out, have you?
Apparently so, but I'm not had much luck with that yet. It's moving side to side.
Yeah. Sort of move it up and down and wiggle it in and out at the same time. We just want to check this to make sure it's clean, because Dan does occasionally get a bit of ticking noise when it's cold, and we want to make sure that this isn't gunked up and obviously causing an issue with oil starvation on the cam. But obviously we're trying to get it out at the moment. Not having any of it.
No, it moves side to side really easily.
Yeah, like it's on an O-ring or something. Can you get that screwdriver in there and just pop it off?
There's nothing to lever against, that's the thing.
Nothing to lever against. Okay, well this solenoid should just pull out the back of the engine, so we're going to, or rather Dan's going to fill around with this. I'm actually still waxing. I've got a coat of wax on the car at the moment, so that is the final stage for that. I know I haven't time-lapsed any of it, but because we've been in and out with the rain, it's been a bit of a nightmare, so obviously we'll show you it once it's all done, but it has a coat of the old graphene ceramic wax. That's why it looks hazy at the moment, because I've not buffed it off yet. So right, we'll come back to you when we've had a bit of success getting this out. Okay, Dan's got the solenoid out. He had to give it a little bit of leverage on this plastic very carefully, just to make sure that it popped out straight.
I think it was just sticking on the O-ring.
All right, yeah.
Because it was like spinning like that.
Yeah.
So I think the O-ring was just a bit stuck, so it just
gotcha. But it looks okay. So I think we're going to give it a little clean out with some brake clean and put it back in.
Might test it, put power in it, and make sure it actually moves.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, if you do that, we'll film it then, shall we? Yeah. Just so it shows what it does. Alright, we'll come back to you when we get set up with that then. Okay. Right, we've got a couple of bits of wire and 2 pairs of hands. I'm going to hold these on the battery, and Dan is going to just touch these on the terminal, and as you can see and hear, this solenoid works absolutely perfect. So we know that that's alright, and Dan's will give it a good clean with some brake cleaner so that it can go back in there now, all looking lovely and shiny. So at least we know that isn't the issue. Let's get that put back in and we'll move on to the next job. Right, we're back outside yet again, and this is looking the absolute bee's knees now. Now I've got to put the scuttle back on. That is one of the final jobs, and I've got to put some tyre stuff on, which I will show you just quickly on one wheel. This is Armour All tyre foam. You just spray it on. Sometimes it wants 2 coats if it's not been done for a long while, and you just leave it and it will gradually obviously work its way down. And Dan's just checking the tyre pressures while I'm doing this. That's what that noise was. Leave it like that, it will gradually drain down the tyres, make them all clean and shiny, and it looks absolutely mega. So I'm going to get those done. That's one of the final jobs along with the scuttle, and we are nearly there. I think you'll agree, this is looking really, really good. Lovely jubbly. then, that is going to be it for this episode of Mec-Tec. Dan's little 107 is looking the absolute nuts. It looks really, really nice. Now there are a few more bits that he needs to do on it, little things like this chrome moulding wants changing. Clips for the, or that bit where the bumper mould clips into, that needs changing. Things like that, which he's going to do obviously once he gets it home. But on the whole, it is looking absolutely mega. It has been pretty transformed. New wheel centres, new wing, wiring's through for the tow bar, rear brake lights fixed, doors adjusted on that side. What else did we do? Is that it? Full compound polish, machine polish and wax. Tyres dressed, wheels cleaned front and back.
The VVT solenoid.
VVC, yeah, I can't say it. VVT solenoid cleaned, that was all right. So yeah, it is absolutely good to go. Top the oil up as well, checked all the tyre pressures, it is looking superb. Now I've got to do a little explanation of why Dan's got a 107 at all. Unfortunately, his Audi of the last, how long did you have that, 5 years?
5 years.
Bit the bullet not so long ago. It's seen in quite a few of my videos towing various cars around, as you would have seen. Unfortunately, the cam belt tensioner decided to have a bit of a wobbly, and allowed it to slip about 3 teeth, which obviously bent a few things inside the engine, and it really wasn't economical to repair. It was like 201,000 miles, was it?
Yeah, it was over 200.
Over 200,000 miles anyway, so yeah. It was doing really well. It was a bit of a high mileage hero, that car, but unfortunately it was met its demise with that, so it needed a new engine, and they are for some reason ridiculously expensive. So that is why he needed a car quick. I said get one of these, and he's had this now for how long? Had it?
6 months.
6 months, and it's been superb. And he's got the aircon gassed on it now, so that works. And he's got a tow bar on it now, so he can still tow his trailer, his smaller trailer anyway, not cars. I don't think it's capable of that, but anyway. So yeah, it is doing really, really well, and it is now looking the part too. So that is the main thing. We've adjusted the wiper arm on that as well, because that was sitting too high. So that's all done, and we are basically all done. We've spent the whole day faffing around doing different bits and bobs, and it's really, really good. So if you do like videos like this, make sure you do 4 things for me: like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you absolutely nothing, and I really, really do appreciate it. We are over 3,000 subscribers now, so that is absolutely superb. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, then I will see you again next time. Cheers guys.